cute? Doesn't he just bring you joy? Hey besties, and welcome back to Sustainability Sunday. First things first, right off the bat, if you hear any noises, I'm sorry, it's raining outside. There's only so much I can do. So you know one of those things that's all the rage on TikTok? Underconsumption. Hearing underconsumption, you might think, oh, that's the same thing as sustainability, right? I'm here to tell you why it's not. Underconsumption is, simply put, not consuming. A lot of people on TikTok, I've noticed, get rid of a lot of their stuff. They're like, oh, underconsumption core, get rid of everything you don't need. Which is kind of more minimalism than underconsumption, but I get what they're going for. But at its core, underconsumption is just not buying, not consuming. Which makes sense. But it's not necessarily sustainable. Sustainability does involve consumption, but consuming wisely, paying attention to what you're consuming, making investment purchases. Underconsumption core. Get rid of all this extra stuff. You only need 1 cup. Okay, what are you gonna do with the other ones that you already own? Underconsumption core tells you, throw them out, get rid of them. How is any of that sustainable? The thing with sustainability, and we've touched on it before in our Sustainability is a Privilege video, sustainability really involves some long-term investment purchases. Underconsumption would tell you no, don't be buying anything. You don't need to be making purchases. But sustainability is about making smart, ethical purchases that benefit long-term. For example, something I'm going to get into eventually is I have bamboo rounds now instead of disposable cotton rounds. That's something that I'm going to do a whole video on. That is a sustainable purchase. You know, instead of buying disposable cotton rounds, I have the bamboo rounds. In theory, could I just use face cloths? Technically, yes. But the bamboo rounds are softer, they're better for removing makeup, they're better for certain skincare things. I prefer the bamboo rounds. I was using cotton rounds before, I wasn't even using face cloths before. Making the investment in the bamboo rounds saves me money long term on buying disposable cotton rounds or disposable cotton balls. I have one of those reusable Q-tips, which I can touch on that if you would like. That saves me money and saves long term from buying Q-tips and Q-tips and Q-tips. You still have to consume sometimes to be sustainable. There is some overlap. I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't. For example, underconsumption. Don't go out and buy clothes. You have clothes in your closet. In fact, get rid of half the clothes in your closet because you don't need that many. Yes, not buying clothes is more sustainable. Technically, getting rid of some of the clothes in your closet, if you donate them, is probably more sustainable. However, picture this. I left my day job. My fiance was all, oh, get rid of all your business clothes, you don't need them anymore. I still have business meetings. I still have things coming up that I need to dress nicer for. I'm not going to get rid of those clothes that I will need again. Because if I pared down my entire wardrobe to like 2 pairs of jeans and like 3 shirts, like so much underconsumption minimalism is telling me, what would I do for when I need to go to a nice function? What would I do for holidays? And underconsumption can just cut that joy out of your life sometimes. I have 2 different milk frothers. One that came in my Nespresso, and one is a handheld one. You'd think, okay, that's fine. I have everything I could need, right? Still bought a matcha whisk. Because there's something about making my matcha with a matcha whisk instead of with a handheld milk frother that just makes me happy. It just brings me joy. It romanticizes my life a little bit more. And if something that small that will last long term makes me that much happier, why not? It makes me enjoy the process of making matcha more than I would if I just, used a handheld milk frother. Sustainability is about making small changes that work for your life that are more sustainable. Whereas underconsumption is about don't consume anything. I know that some people love the idea of minimalism, and that's why underconsumption appeals to them so much. I love the idea of having fun. If you really like minimalism, not judging, I just could never be that kind of person. I love having knickknacks and tchotchkes that show my personality. I have my selfie wall with my big Beetlejuice sign on it. I have little Funko Pops from all my favorite shows and a Pete Wentz one because anyone who knows me knows I love Fall Out Boy. I have them on my bookshelves. That's a whole nother video that I could get into, is knickknacks and tchotchkes versus sustainability, because that's a whole different wormhole that I can go down. But underconsumption would tell me to get rid of those. They're not necessary. I don't want to live like that. Now, this isn't for people that are just practicing some mindful underconsumption, which is just lesser. I just feel like TikTok has pushed it way too far. TikTok has turned underconsumption into not consuming anything. I will never be an underconsumption core girly. I will be a sustainability girly. But just like I've always said, I will never be a no waste person. I will never try to push anyone to live a zero waste lifestyle, because realistically, that's not something that people can do and can keep at. What I try to push is small sustainable changes. And underconsumption, the way that TikTok is promoting it, is not that. What is better than underconsumption is mindful consumption and mindful reduction. For example, instead of going out and buying clothes every week, maybe go thrifting once a month. When I think about products that I've purchased new, Doc Martens, for example. Doc Martens are an investment, but they will last a lot longer than the Walmart version. Not saying anything bad about Walmart, just saying the Doc Martens are known to last forever. That is a sustainable purchase. That is sustainability. Spending the money up front on something that you will not then need to consistently replace. That is not what underconsumption is about. The one big thing that they both have in common though, use what you have before buying new. That is the biggest thing that I can say that both sides are trying. Use what you have. That is obviously the more sustainable option. Using what you have is more sustainable than buying something new. Underconsumption just doesn't want you buying anything new, so it wants you using what you have regardless. I'm on a no buy this year, so that's my big thing, is I am using what I have. I know that not everybody can afford a lot of sustainable changes. I have an entire video about how it's a privilege to be able to. A lot of people that practice underconsumption will go as far as to be like, oh, I don't need to get an oil change for my car. Yes, you do. I mean, is it way more sustainable if you just change the oil at home on your own? Yeah, definitely. As someone who was raised by a mechanic, 1000%. Do it. But it's not sustainable to just not do it. And it's not safe to just not do it. You'll cost your car so much money in repairs in the long run if you don't check your oil levels semi-frequently and replace the oil when you need to. On that note, people that don't actually check their car oil, are you okay? What are you doing with your life? Has Laguna Beach taught us nothing? Here's another example. Next weekend, I'm going on a girls' trip with some of my friends. Where we're going, there's gonna be a hot tub. I don't currently have a bathing suit. If I was practicing underconsumption, would not go out and get a bathing suit. I'm not. I'm practicing sustainability. So you know what I'm doing? I'm going out and I'm getting a bathing suit so that I can go and enjoy my weekend with the girls. And then this summer, I will have a bathing suit that I can wear to the beach, which I have not had in years. I will be able to go and enjoy free days at the beach. All you have to do at the beach is pay for parking, and that's if you park at the beach. You can park further away and walk. And boom, then you have an entire free day where you don't really need to do anything. You're not consuming anything, you're just hanging out at the beach. Maybe reading, maybe listening to music, maybe running in the water. But that's a day where you don't create any waste, where you're not spending money. There has to be a balance. TikTok's underconsumption wants you to not enjoy your life. Sustainability wants you to enjoy your life while protecting the planet. At the end of the day, I feel like thanks to TikTok, underconsumption and minimalism have become the same thing. And it's become a kind of dangerous trend. Not dangerous as in you're putting yourself at risk, but dangerous as in people don't know who they are anymore because you're telling them not to have personality anymore. You're telling them not to enjoy things anymore. At the end of the day, consume less, consume mindfully. But underconsumption is insane. I'd rather live a life where I'm comfortable and happy and making small sustainable choices. Like having my portable air conditioner instead of having central AC. Having my little space heater because the heat in my office doesn't work. But underconsumption would say, you're fine, just wear layers. I already do that. And I'm freezing during the winter. Are these things necessarily the most sustainable things on the planet? No. But are they smaller, more sustainable choices I could make to other options? Very much so. And at the end of the day, all that we can ask is to try to be a little bit better every day and a little bit more sustainable every day. No one will be 100% sustainable or 100% zero waste. I will die on that hill that is not realistic for long term. But the small changes that you can make are realistic. Consuming slightly less or slightly more mindfully makes more sense and is more realistic than underconsuming. Underconsuming is not something that you can keep up with long term. Underconsumption may seem like fun for a while. It may be like, oh, okay, look at how tidy my home is now that I don't have any clutter. I want to be able to show off my collection of Mojo Jojos. Whereas underconsumption would say, get rid of them. You don't need them. You don't need a collection. Well, my collection makes me happy. Underconsumption and sustainability are very different. I don't believe in underconsumption because I don't believe that it's something that you can do long term. I believe that sustainability is about small realistic swaps, whereas underconsumption wants you to get rid of everything. I don't believe that anyone can go that long without the little things that make them happy. I believe that everyone needs those silly, frivolous things that serve absolutely no purpose in life other than to make them happy, like my collection of Mojo Jojos. So with that, I ask you, do you believe in underconsumption? Do you believe in a different version of underconsumption than TikTok has been pushing? Is your TikTok algorithm giving you different underconsumption options? Because mine's just telling me, get rid of everything. If y'all are getting different underconsumption recommendations, saying different things, let me know. I'm very intrigued. All I know is that I like frivolous and fun things. And I like frivolous and fun things that are sustainable. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like. Again, comment down below your opinions on underconsumption. Make sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and then alternating Fridays and Mondays. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold. So cold.